600 million times a day, people across the globe drink a Coke. Coca-Cola is the most recognized trademark in the world and one of the most universally recognized words on Earth.
Let me ask you something. Can you remember the last time you had a taste of Coca-Cola? That familiar fizz, that shiver of icy down your throat, the nostalgic sweetness that is addictive. Now imagine this. You are taking something the entire formula of which has never been published. A secret so much guarded that world governments could not access it, even had they tried. And possibly, just possibly, it is even deeper than flavor. It is not just the tale of a drink, it is an obsession, power, manipulation, a secret that has been so well kept, the world has not heard of it in well upwards of 130 years. It was all initiated in Atlanta, Georgia, 1886. John Stith Pemberton, a wounded Civil War veteran who was addicted to morphine, was a desperate pharmacist who wanted to come up with something new. Something that would make him feel better and perhaps redemption. He combined coca leaves, cola nuts, sugar, and a peculiar mixture of essential oils in his little pharmacy. He named it Pemberton French Wine Coca, a magic lotion that would help the headache, tiredness, and depression. But here's the catch. His coca leaves were not there to decorate. They contained cocaine, actual pharmaceutical-grade cocaine. As prohibition struck Georgia, alcohol was banned and Pemberton had to take off the wine. He substituted it with sugar syrup, preserved the coca, and called it Coca-Cola. Initially, it was being marketed as a health drink. However, with the death of Pemberton, a new footballer came into play, Asa Candler. Candler was no chemist. He was a businessman, a foresight who knew something which the world did not know. What he secretly used was the drink. It was in the secrecy. The thing was that he knew when the formula was too secretive and nobody would be able to duplicate it, people would be even more inclined to it. So he did something out of the ordinary. He destroyed every documentation of the recipe. He sealed all the written copies. And since then, nobody on the planet would ever know the full formula, not even the two of them, together, not even by oath. That rule still exists today. At this point, things become weird. Carbonated water, sugar, caffeine, caramel color, and phosphoric acid, which are the known ingredients, are not so special. However, there is one ingredient that is different: the natural flavors. That indeterminate expression conceals the 7X formula, or merchandise number. 7, the secret formula of oils and extracts which makes Coca-Cola so special to taste. Never, however, has anyone, not chemists, not competitors, not journalists themselves, been able to entirely reproduce it. Others claim it has cinnamon, lemon, nutmeg, coriander, and neroli. Others are of the opinion that it has ingredients that are prohibited in certain countries. And there are worse conspiracies than those, to assert that the flavor of Coca-Cola is a product of a process that incorporates ingredients that cannot be publicly acknowledged by the company. In 2011, one of the reporters allegedly discovered the original handwritten recipe in a century-old notebook. The world had just believed that the mystery had been solved, until Coca-Cola came forward. Their remark was brief and shuddering. Nice try. Yet in the actual recipe, there is nothing to lose. Safe, but where? There is a huge steel vault in Atlanta in the World of Coca-Cola Museum. It's not for decoration. What the company boasts of being the sole written copy of the secret formula is behind the biometric scanners and 24-hour guards. You may have a look at the vault, but nobody can get into it. Not even executives. All of these are temperature, humidity, and even light exposure that is closely regulated. But here is a question to one nobody appears to ask. When the formula has been buried more than 100 years, how can they keep on producing billions of bottles annually? The solution may appear to have been made in a spy movie. Few chemists are licensed to make a high-concentrated syrup referred to as the concentrate. This concentrate is exported with high level of security to bottling facilities across the globe. Not even the bottlers know what is in it. They only add home water and sugar. All the rest is of one hidden origin. It is one of the best guarded activities on Earth. But why? What is the purpose of such a long way of preserving a soda? Since Coca-Cola is not its taste that makes it the biggest weapon, it was this that became its marketing. It was a so powerful story that it gave birth to faith. Individuals do not drink Coca-Cola because it is more delicious, but because it is more comfortable. That's not coincidence. Psychological engineering. In the case of World War II, the Coca-Cola leaders made a deal with the US government. 5 cents would buy a Coke to every American soldier, regardless of his location in the world. Coca-Cola erected plants in war-torn areas. They had their trucks trailing armies on the battlefields. When the war was over, the plantations remained there. The Coca-Cola empire was planted in Europe, Africa, and Asia. The beverage gained a reputation of the American triumph and the American influence. It wasn't just marketing, it was soft power. There is something darker behind that power. Coca-Cola has had more than just its formula concealed. Its excessive level of sugar, addictive caffeine, and acids that are corrosive have been associated with ill effects across the globe. Coke has even been accused of drying up water resources, burying unions, and silencing critics in some countries. But still, the image of the company is a squeaky clean one. Family-friendly, festive, full of joy. How? Since Coca-Cola learned to play the game of psychology, the new Santa Claus, red suit, white beard, rosy cheeks, that was Coca-Cola's creation. Santa was represented either in green or brown before their advertisements in the 1930s. Coca-Cola replicated him into red and white to suit their logo. They did not simply sell soda, they changed culture. And this is where the conspiracy is compounded. According to some researchers, Coca-Cola does not only protect its flavor, it protects something as well. A business secret too taboo to tell? The reason they do this is because of the decades-old relationship that the company has had with the US government, its control of food policy, and the financial might that stretches beyond continents. Coca-Cola has over the decades taken part in political campaigns, wars, and even intelligence supply. Think about it. A company that has a product that is used by billions of people every day in all countries and with almost complete control over distribution. An organization whose precise formula nobody can study or confirm. That's not just marketing, that's global influence. And so maybe there is no real question of what is in Coca-Cola, but why it's kept secret. Since when a company keeps a recipe on the same scale as the nuclear code, you must say, what is really inside that bottle? Only sugar, caffeine, and caramel? Or something to ensure that you cannot quit drinking it? And yet, here's the real twist. Perhaps this is one of the biggest secrets of Coca-Cola. Maybe it's hidden in us, in our memories, in our cravings, and in that joy each time that we open a can and we hear that pshh. The real recipe of Coca-Cola may not include oils, syrups, or acids, but a feeling, nostalgia, psychological conditioning. A formula not only to taste your tongue, it flavors your mind, and the next time you take a drink, it will remind you, you are not just taking out a soda, you are drinking a legend, made, guarded, and refined during 100 years. Coca-Cola has become more than a brand, thanks to a story. It has become a riddle, one of the few which have not yet been answered by the modern world. As after all this time, one thing will be, nobody, be it the scientific world, the news media, or the governments, has ever unpuzzled the actual Coca-Cola mystery. And perhaps that is the way they prefer it.